Well, it's certainly been an interesting past 36 hours across the northern half of the British Isles and even down in the southwest. We've seen a covering of snow this morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook for the 17th of January, and it certainly felt like the middle of January out there today across many portions of the country. This was the scene that I captured this morning at around about quarter past three this morning, coming back from the night shift. Tricky road conditions. We had a pretty decent cover out there, and we extended that snow cover even more so through the course of today as those showers just continue to rattle in from the north on that northerly wind. But as promised yesterday, we'll go back to the snow aspect in just a second here, but I want to show you what the latest GFS run is showing for the stratosphere. And there is models kind of coming and going with regards to exactly the type of warming that we see taking place. Some show a displacement of the vortex, some actually split the vortex in two pieces, one piece going into North America, one going into Europe here. But the general overall emphasis is now indicating that the majority of the models are showing some sort of a reversal in the mean wind, zonal winds within the polar vortex or surrounding the polar vortex. And I think even if we don't get a true major southern stratospheric warming, which to be honest with you, the models are showing more and more now, I still think we're going to get some sort of influence of this into the month of February. Remember now that if we do get a sudden stratospheric warming, the time frame is likely to be the middle portion of February in terms of any major impacts. Of course, fundamental aspects that we need to consider is that, eventually, if we get that sudden stratospheric warming, we do get that major displacement split, whatever takes place, remember we need to have that downward propagation of warming down through the column towards the troposphere, and it pushes all the cold air, it drains it out of the stratosphere into the troposphere, and then of course that then involves the 500 millibar pattern. So there's a lot of aspects to still get ticked off that list in order for us to get any major impacts. Now, the last time we seen a major influence of a sudden stratospheric warming was February 2021. That episode seen strong easterly winds blowing for a period of several days, snowfall mounted up significantly, and then with clear skies, light winds under an area of high pressure, we've seen the temperature drop to minus 23 Celsius at Braemar in Aberdeenshire. That was the UK's coldest temperature since 1995, surpassing anything we've seen in 2010 as well as in 2009 as well. So, of course, there is a lot of excitement, there is a lot of interest with regards to the stratosphere, but I always, as you know, I always try to see the balanced view, the non-hype view, and showing you exactly what I'm seeing and interpreting it for you to see and understand what's going on. It's a very, very complex physical situation that goes on, and it is well beyond my understanding. I will hold my hand up and admit that. But let's have a look at the latest run of the GFS operational, and we can see what takes place. So you can already see, as of today, the 17th of January, we are seeing the stretching of the PV. We're seeing strong warming both over Europe, southern Europe, as well as over Asia, extending into northwestern portions of North America. So as we play through this loop, you can see exactly what takes place. That strong warming really stretching it between the almost down towards Bermuda, all the way back into the central portion of Asia. We've got that stretched out polar vortex. And as we continue to play through the loop here, you can see wave one of major strong warming taking place out of Siberia towards the pole. And this is crucial here because we are seeing that push of warmth right the way across the top of the Arctic and pushing the vortex towards the North Atlantic here. So that is wave one. Then as we go towards the period right at the very end of the month. Look at that strong, incredible, probably record-breaking warm surge that comes out of the north of Asia towards the pole. And if that's not a sudden stratospheric warming, folks, I don't know what is, if I'm being honest with you here. So that certainly looks very, very imminent in terms of an SSW, and that would certainly, I believe anyway, have significant influence on our weather pattern during the month of February. But I have to emphasize the month of February here. So that's all I'm going to say about that at the moment. I've already got 5 minutes into the video here, so it's incredible how quickly the time goes when you're trying to do these videos, especially when there's so many things to talk about here. Looking at this is the 2 meter temperature anomalies here off weatherbell.com. This is for the first 17 days of the month. Cold across the top of Asia, warm across the heart of Europe. North America very warm as well. Look at how much cool there is over central portions of Asia down into India. We're seeing record-breaking cold here. A large swathe of the African continent, northern parts of Australia, central and western portions of South America below average as well. But look at Europe here. Now, notice here that while we've got a predominantly warmer than normal Europe, we're actually starting to go back below normal again across the northwest of Scotland, thanks to this northerly wind that has been driving those snow showers in and allowing the snow to pile up quite significantly as well. So let's have a look at that and see what's taking place. So this was the scene, by the way, out of Cornwall this morning by Official Weather UK, and some stunning scenes. A wee surprise snowfall actually down in the southwest corner of England during the overnight, and road conditions were almost as bad actually as they were seen in the Highlands, as you can see. So certainly a very interesting situation indeed. In the opposite end of the country, this was a scene taken from Sunborough Head in Shetland. Just absolutely spectacular scenes here coming out of several portions of the country, thanks to this Arctic blast coming down from the north here. Beautiful scenes here from Lewis Mackenzie, who works, I believe, as a captain, or certainly works on the bridge of the Seaforth, Loch Seaforth ferry that runs between Ullapool and Stornoway here. So beautiful conditions seen of Ullapool this morning. Just absolutely fantastic shots here captured by Lewis of the snowy scenes in Ullapool here. So this is Highland weather. This is technically unofficial readings here in terms of snow depth here, but very reliable, of course. I say unofficial. I mean they're not Met Office stations, but 28 centimeters in Loch Liscarnock, Inch Bay 25, Garve we had 20, Muir of Ord, and this is all within my neck of the woods actually. 20 centimeters in Dingwall, which is only 10 minutes from here. Ardross just up the hill, 15 centimeters. So very significant amounts of snow has been building up really since the snow arrived here on Sunday night. The showers have been just continuously piling in. These are official measurements, by the way. Actually, the Met Office shows 32 centimeters of lion snow at Loch Liscarnock, 11 at Altnaharn. I think, based on the fact that we've had continuous snow showers piling in through the course of today, there will be bigger amounts than that. This is the large amount of warnings put out by the Met Office. A broad yellow warning for snow and ice across much of northern Scotland. We've got southwestern Scotland, down the western side of England, much of Wales, if not all of Wales, in fact, and southern portions of the UK is under a yellow warning here for snow and ice. But look at the amber warning that has been issued by the Met Office for the combination of snow showers driven in on gale force northerly winds, and we could see some blowing and drifting blizzard conditions as a result of that. So what is actually going on? This was the temperatures, by the way, this morning. Pretty cold. Surprisingly cold, especially across more southern areas of the British Isles. We had temperatures actually, I know it says minus 8.8 Benson, actually dropped below minus 9, I think, last night at Benson in Oxfordshire, of course, a well-known frost hollow, minus 9.4 at Redesdale Camp. and we had widespread -4 to -6, -8 in several spots here. So up and down the land, it was another very, very cold night indeed. And temperatures at the moment, as of recording, are hovering around the freezing mark. Bear in mind, we've got some pretty strong winds out there. That is why the temperatures are not any lower than this. Further south, we've got temperatures at or below freezing, as you can see here, down to -5 already, which is very impressive actually at Benson. So it'll be interesting to see how cold it gets here. Let's have a look at the pressure chart here, because we've got an interesting situation taking place. This area of low pressure that brought a lot of bad conditions across Shetland, even parts of Orkney, through the course of last night and into today. We've got this area of low pressure that will drop south. Squeezing the isobars on the west side of the low means that we're going to see gale force winds developing here during the overnight tonight across the north, and that means we're going to enhance the snow shower activity, but also those strong winds will cause blowing and drifting of that snow during the overnight tonight. Blizzard conditions, I think, in some places. So this is off the GFS. This is the Scotland view here, as well as Northern Ireland. We're going to see those snow showers piling in across north and western portions of Ireland. Northern Ireland, thanks to those strong northerly winds, and of course the north coast is exposed to that enhanced snowfall activity, as you can see here across parts of Skye, Loch Aber here, down into the Fort William area. Aberdeenshire, I think, is going to get hit pretty hard during the overnight period tonight, and then this system will eventually transfer down into the near continent. We continue to see those snow showers piling in through much of tomorrow, and even right the way through the rest of this week. Actually, I think those snow showers are going to play a factor. But it's a little bit less cold with this area of low pressure. This system that rides south, if you look at the 850 temperatures, and we'll have a quick look at Europe if we've got a chance in a second here. But notice here, this area of low pressure itself does have slightly less cold air. So we're actually going to see a bit of a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow down at low levels. Higher elevations, up probably above 100 meters, we'll see further accumulating snow. And I wouldn't be surprised actually if we still see further accumulations even down near sea level. But that system then transfers south, and then we kind of pull in more colder air from the north once again, keeping our eyes close on that feature, that situation to the west of the UK. That is going to be bringing the milder conditions, or attempt to pull in milder air by the weekend coming up here. But you notice that system kind of pulls into the near continent. We're left with more enhanced cold air at 850. Then as we continue to play right the way through the loop, you can see here by Friday that slightly milder air is now starting to become involved. But notice something here. The milder air is actually more to the north of Scotland. We're going to see milder conditions here, staying cold for longer down across the south and the southeastern half of the country. And it may take quite a while for that cold air to then get removed. So we could even find ourselves going into the early portion of next week, certainly through the weekend, but early portions of next week, we may have temperatures struggling to get much above the freezing mark, despite northern areas and western areas, the temperatures coming up. The reason why is we're going to start to increase that southwesterly wind through the Western Isles, through northwestern Scotland, while we've got less wind and that cold air trapped in the south and southeastern half of the country here. Very cold conditions across the European continent through the weekend and into early next week, where we're going to see those temperatures coming down somewhat here. But certainly nighttime temperatures, by the way, are still going to drop like a stone, especially I think Thursday night, Friday night in particular, with snow covered ground and a little bit higher pressure building in ahead of that warmer air. We may see temperatures drop to the lowest values of the entire week. I still wouldn't be surprised if we see temperatures drop between -10, -12, possibly -13 as we go towards the nights during the second half of this work week, once that feature, this drop in south, clears away and we're left in the colder air here. Looking at the CFSV2 here real quick, you can see here that we've got a cold upcoming 7 days, particularly so across east, south Scotland, bulk of England and Wales staying cold. warmer than normal conditions now starting to age in across the west. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you again, hopefully again tomorrow.